Alrighty, so this is going to be the final critique of the evening. I didn't have any more that were sent to me. So overall, this was actually the shortest stream that we've done. It's only been an hour and 11 minutes. That's got to be a record for here. Except I think there was like one stream that I did only one. But yeah, once again, we got Tyten back up again. Probably the most consistent player that we have on here now, in terms of just like submitting VODs. So always happy to see some improvements with him. And this is actually a player that he's played against before. At least I believe that's what he was saying. Let me just double check on what he sent me. Yeah. So okay, so he has a history of just doing bad in the matchups, not this player in particular. But I wasn't watching intently as I was recording them, but he was actually coming away with like a couple of W's. So I'm going to be seeing if it was just more if he improved a lot in the matchup, or maybe he's just like this young Link player was just doing some things that were wrong. So either way, we're going to be analyzing on what he was doing exactly, talking about things he could be doing better, things that were good, and then we'll also talk about from the young Link's end in a little bit of depth. So let's see what we got. Overall, for the matchup, I think it's more beneficial to have the wider stages as the Duck Hunt than it is as the Young Link. And this is kind of like the brief description of why. I think Young Link's a lot better at playing the scrapping game and just throwing out moves rather than Duck Hunt. So if Young Link gets in Duck Hunt's face, like he's got Nair, his jab is like frame 3, I think. Let me just check that. Yeah, okay, jab's frame 4, so I think that's the same frame. Yeah, it's the same frame as Duck Hunt's. It's just that his is disjointed, so it's a little bit better than his. So it's like he does Nair, he's going to be able to stuff out with that, and then if he jumps again, he's also got another Nair coming. So really good ways to just throw out a lot of moves and overwhelm the opponent. And then not to mention, it's just like, it's kind of a little bit easier for him to follow up off a Boomerang if he's close by in that type of scenario. Whereas the wider range that is, it kind of gives Duck Hunt more time to just kind of control the stage. Just because like Young Link doesn't really set up walls. He just kind of throws out projectiles and then that will control the space. But once Duck Hunt gets his cannon and gunman out, then Duck Hunt is basically dictating how the stage will work. And that plays way more in favor to Duck Hunt than it does in Young Link. Because if Duck Hunt's in control of the projectiles, so the mind games on Duck Hunt's parts are just a lot easier than they are for Young Link. So if you're a Duck Hunt player, I do think these bigger stages like Kalos, Town and City, and Pokemon Stadia actually do play more to yours benefits than being the Young Link player. Oh, however, I wouldn't say like it's an overwhelming advantage or anything like that. It's just like I think it's slightly better for the Duck Hunt player in those cases. Yeah, you always got to keep in mind on how fresh your gunmen are. In that case, you just... Most people aren't used to playing with items, but just know that if you did a grounded toss, it would have worked. That was weird. I've actually never seen somebody just get hit by like 2 hits of the clay pigeon and fall out of it. Yeah, because I think it's... Yeah, that's strange. I've actually legitimately never seen that. Let me see. Let me look at this hitbox. Because I don't think the final hit of Clay Pigeon gets bigger. Oh, okay. We don't actually have anything that shows it off. Because it's like this is a multi-hit move at that point. Huh. I'm actually really curious to see exactly what that was. Fortunately, we don't have iDonuts in here. I could ask him what it would be like, but fortunately, not available at the moment. No, actually, I was thinking of something else. A little unfortunate there, but nothing you can recover from. Okay, so when your opponent's at 153 at that point, like generally Clay Pigeon shouldn't work anymore. But if you are going to hit them at this percentage with Clay Pigeon, Like you kind of need to like auto recognize where they are positional wise, and in this case it's like just turning around just so you could have back air set up, or you could go into up air 2. That'd be the better way. And also just having hit 2 of up air is going to be a little bit easier to connect than 3. Like 2 to 3 works a lot better than 1 to 3, at least just from what I've noticed. Yeah, good gunman there. All you need to do is, oh, that was a free up air. Easy enough. Yeah, so that's a really good position to have, because like basically you can just jump and summon a can, and like none of his projectiles are going to get through that. It's just you kind of messed up the ground game up there. Again, watch your opponent. There's no reason for you to die there. But I think in that case, because the bomb combined with the can, I think it kind of messed up the way DI would work there. So it probably gave you a really funky angle. Otherwise, you wouldn't have died that early. Yeah, remember this. So whenever you have like anchor cans set up, like Youngling can't really do anything to you. So if you wanted to like short hop Clay Pigeon, that's actually a really good excuse to do it, because he's staling his projectiles on this, and that makes a Clay Pigeon even easier to go through. So when you do that, like most likely his projectiles aren't going to hit you, and if Clay Pigeon happens to hit him, you actually do get a free conversion off of that. Not saying it's easy to convert off of that, because he's probably going to be like mostly across the stage, but it's possible. Oh, okay. So that was like the truest confirmation to a Clay Pigeon I've ever seen. So let's look at this. He had a really good thing set up. So obviously can right there. And then I think he burned his double jump already. Let me just double check. So let's see. Yeah. Actually, no, he didn't. So it's like the second that he just like ran off and like did the fire arrow, like I would have just like jumped, and like I would have been ready to like just jump over here. So then that way I would be above fire arrows. And then if he did boomerang, he could of course angle it up towards me. But like the second that he was going to land on top of that Clay Pigeon, you just detonate it. And then that was like a free confirm. At this percent, probably would have been run up, grab, forward throw can. And then you try to throw them behind and then ping the can. So then that way they get launched away. Okay, that was really confusing. I had no idea why you did that. Because basically what you did there... Let's look at this. So when you decided to go for like the bear can right as he was coming down with a projectile, you're basically like giving himself a free way to blow you up with your own can. And the other thing too is like, that was a really good position for can. Like that was meant to just cover young Link blowing, like landing on the platform. And like now that he hits it away with that, it's basically going to cover roll, so then you can just cover the rest. Also, if you ever recognize that your gunman does not go down to like a projectile, that means it's stale enough that Clay Pigeon will go through. Always remember that. You died for the same thing 2 stocks in a row. I'm kind of mad. Just watch. Just always watch your opponent. Yeah, so that's another reason why. Just watch your opponent, because like if you weren't busy with the gunman there, that was a free up smash. So that was pretty easy recognition right there that he had a regrab. So all you need to do is trade the spike hit for that, and he was dead. Yeah, good that you didn't go for a grab there, because that was like all the pressure that he did right there would have beat out grab. There we go. Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, that's just kind of like more of like, are you watching your opponent or are you focusing more on yourself there? That's kind of what that comes down to. Because like even in that case, like Gummin was kind of a weird one to choose because most of the time they would just go to ledge and like grab that, and Gummin doesn't really cover any options. Like Can would have made sense. Also, yeah, like he has been doing like he's been doing up B on ground a lot, and then like Clay Pigeon's always going to go through that. So if you're able to bait that out, just go for side B. Ah, could have gotten a grab off of that one. Yeah, it kind of goes back to my point there. Like that gunman's just like very wasteful. Because like in this case, like right here, like with the bomb and everything, you could have actually just like chilled right here and then like F smashed him. So maybe would have killed. I'm not entirely sure. But then with the bomb there, it was just more of a guaranteed chance that he'd probably die. And it's like there, like basically that gunman literally just set up nothing because like Can was right behind it, so it wasn't really setting up a safe zone. And then the shot wasn't really covering anything either. Like pretty much the only characters you should be using gunman at ledge is when you're playing against like a projectile character that has like a charge shot, or if they can get a really good conversion into a kill off of it. And like that's when you set them up, and you set them up specifically when you know they're about to come up. So then that way it gets blocked. Yeah. Yeah, just like those moments. That was good. So, like, in those cases, like, Young Link is one of those characters that can get hit by the Marth Slayer, so it wouldn't have been a bad idea to just keep shielding over it, but your shield was looking kind of small, so at least there's a reason to be scared. But, hey, he at least got the kill off of that one. All right. Let's see the next game. Okay, let me just double check something. Let me see. What's Young Link's weight? So Young Link is 88. So I think Duck Hunt is Duck Hunt lighter? Okay, yeah, Duck Hunt is lighter. So unfortunately, because of the fast falling and the actual weight values, Young Link is actually like heavier than us, and excuse me. And basically, if you go for the Canacide trades, it's always going to be in Young Link's flavor unless like he's going to die off of it. So be very careful about like going for those. But then again, like Young Link's not going to kill you, not going to really kill you outside like a few situations. Yeah, if you ever see that, just go for a Clay Pigeon. Oof. Yeah, that was actually a good one to go for. That's the classic right there. Just up smash to spot dodge. I remember like that was like the thing that Link used to always do back in Smash 4 too. So just remember that thing. It's just like because he's got the multi hits, like you can clay pigeon that really easily. So just remember that. Again, if he does that, you can clay pigeon that as well. And keep in mind, this is not me saying use clay pigeon in neutral. You're using clay pigeon specifically when Young Link has already thrown out a specific move in neutral, which like up B is still it's a long move. Like up B itself, let me just get the frame data for that. So that's the one thing I need to clarify. Like up B is 70 frames long, so that's a very long time to get that punish there. So that's why clay pigeon's good to use against that. Also with where is up smash? Up smash. 69 frames total. Another reason why clay pigeon's very, very good to use against that, just because you have a lot more time to just like go ahead and punish it with that move. So that's the reason why I'm saying for those two moves in particular, it's good to use clay pigeon against it. The other one that it's good to use against too is arrows once that does get stale, but just keep in mind it's not a free pass to use clay pigeon for everything. Just very specific moves. That was a really good combo right there. Not that you did something wrong there, but just side note. After this really good sequence that you had here, is that doing the dash attack? Actually, I think the bomb hit this, and maybe it got anchored. I could be wrong, but if it was anchored, then disregard this. But if it wasn't anchored, what you want to do here is like you want to actually dash attack the can, so then that way can would just kind of end up like right here. And then it would just create a lot more pressure on the Young Link player. Oh, that was a really bad can. Yeah. So that I'll call that like a nonsensical can, because that's kind of what it was. So in this instance, you could just like jump to avoid this and then like still have like your air dodge. So you could just like wave land on this platform or just like wave land away so he can't really catch you. So then you would have been pretty safe there. But by going for this can, you put yourself into a lot of lag. You didn't go off stage, so you weren't able to get the safety of like the ledge grab. And like he could have very easily just like, he could have just done like so much more than what he did right there. Also, yeah, that was a very risky landing. Actually, you could have killed him off of that one. You just detonated too early. Ah, we're ready for the up air. That one kind of goes back to just watching your opponent, but at least cleaned up really fast. Tried to cannon side twice. Oh, no. As I mentioned, the cannon side trades do not go in your favor. Yeah, it should be death, yeah. What do you convert that off of? I mean, obviously the down tilt there, but let me see that whole sequence again. Like, honestly, like after that bear can, he actually had a pretty good setup for a clay pigeon there. Okay, so that was the boomerang, yeah. He ain't got a lot off that. Oh, that was a really good can ping right there. Yeah, see, like that's kind of the reason why that like clay pigeon can just work against arrows. Like it's better for you to get it out early so it just tanks the arrow and like hits him. So you don't have to worry about like the knockback, but it's just that your clay pigeon does way more damage than his fire arrows do. There we go. Good stuff. So I think I should just like randomly state too is Younglink's one of those characters that you can't actually kill with up throw. I think it's gonna be like closer to like 170, 180. But if he has like a bomb, it can kill slightly earlier too. So something good to keep in mind. Yeah, no, it's not a bad thing. Like the main thing about the arrows is you just like want to make sure it's at a like a percentage where it's not gonna break it. That's kind of it. So this is kind of random. So this is not a bad stage to keep open for you for like this one thing is Young Link doesn't really kill you off the top. He generally kills you more off the sides. So where like Duckin has like a lot of like good like vertical kill potential, Young Link doesn't really get that. So if you want to kill him really early, this is actually a pretty good stage to go to. And not to mention like the way that the stage plays, I think is a little bit better for Duckin to be elusive rather than Young Link as well. You could have actually done like a second clay pigeon and then back air to kill him. And you're going for the full combo right there. Okay, what do we got? Yeah, remember, like, you can up air Young Link from below when he's doing up smash. Like, he leaves himself vulnerable for a long time, and that move doesn't last too long. Like, I mean, obviously it's a long move, but like the hitboxes themselves, they're only out for they're out for 5 frames, so it's relatively easy to intercept afterwards. Because like the last one ends on frame 45, and then the move ends on frame 69. So you have a total of 24 frames to punish him afterwards. Oh, there we go. The Tom Tyten ledge camping right there. Oh, nice weight bounce there. You're a little bit early with that can ping. I don't think he was in position to get like dragged into it, but like if you just kept up airing him right there, he literally couldn't roll to the other side. Like he would have to jump there. That was a really good position that you had before. Oh man, you could have grabbed him in that time. So yeah, something to keep in mind is you can actually grab him for up smashing you. In that case, let me see the pushback real quick. Yeah, from there I would have said you probably could have grabbed him just because of the way that the slope works. Because like if he hits your shield with the final hit of up smash, it's negative 22. So it's really easy to punish as long as you're in range. So I don't think he can do enough pushback to get you out of range, but I wouldn't rule out the possibility. Yeah, remember, as long as you have the gunman set up there, like the only thing you have to shield for is bombs. So don't even bother about it. Good setup. So kind of more niche setups for anybody watching this back later on. Let's talk about this. So you kind of go up, you ping the CAD to just like absorb any projectiles that might get in the way, and then drop down and then just cover the rest of it with a strong hitbox. In most cases, Nair is going to be the easiest one to do just because like you're not going to really be able to turn around and control can properly. You're probably going to be facing towards the opponent. So in this case, you're most likely going to go for Nair, just because like it's there, it's quick, and it's just like in your face. And if you trade, this will still get the kill. Whereas down air, you have the risk of that not ending well for you. So this is good. This is very good. So it keeps you safe, and it gives you an opening to get the hit there. Yeah, good he didn't go for the grab. He was still invincible. So just like a little cleanup on that combo right there. So when you do that first clay pigeon, you dash, jump, and then fall with fair, because that fair can lead to a second fair, or it can lead into a grab, and then like a forward throw and maybe another fair, depending on how they DI it. Whereas this one, you only get one fair, so you reduce your damage by like one move, and potentially at best 2 moves. So that's the reason why. Just make sure you practice doing clay pigeon, dash, jump, and then falling nair, not rising fair. You only do rising fair if that's the only thing you could use to hit them, but in this case, that wasn't it. You always remember, whenever you get the special downs, like that gunman is a wall that's going to block all of his projectiles, so you can just drop below it and you're basically safe. Up till... Oh, okay. You had the right idea there. Good stuff. Yeah, no, you played that pretty well. There's just, like, slight things you need to polish up more. Yeah. Generally would not recommend just fairing that until you're waiting to the end of up B, but like at least it worked out for you there. So it's like, yeah, as you can see kind of there, it's like didn't lead into the most, because I think you might get a little trade most of the time, but yeah, it's just like if he whiffs up B, you should just be ready to get a massive punish on him every single time. Aw. Yeah, you actually had a really good setup there before, but you just kind of threw it all away. Because, like, what did you land with there? Cause I don't know what's the big thing I had issues with. Yeah, because it's just like you just kind of messed up your fair there. It's unfortunate. You got so lucky that can was positioned the way it was. Otherwise, I was going to ruin your kill. I'm not sure what all those tilts were. Because at this point, like, he was literally just, like, spamming arrows and doing nothing else. Also, I think he did dash attack, and then was it no reaction there? Just double check that. Oh, okay. He just caught the end lag of that. Wait, did he hit the gunman? That's my guess. Yeah. Okay, I want you to acknowledge like how good gunman hitboxes are. So if you didn't have that gunman there, that clay pigeon actually wasn't going to work. So look how tall the gunman is. So his foot is going to come in contact with the hat up there. So because this froze him in place there, this allowed Ducka to have enough time to get the reel back. Because, like, at first, the clay pigeon hitbox, like, starts right in front of him. So this would have detonated the clay pigeon most likely. Because I think it does enough damage. Let me check. Yeah, it does 5%. So unless it's stale, which I think it was, actually maybe it wouldn't have broken it. So then this would just basically just go right through and then just punish him afterwards. And then it also just like allowed Duckin enough time to reel back so it doesn't even hit the clay pigeon. So really good thing to utilize. Just something to keep in mind whenever you have them summoned. Good setup. I'm happy. Like, not too many duck hunts that I bring on here are really aware of the whole role setups. I'm happy that you're pretty consistently aware of that. Yeah, remember, whenever he's got something like that set up, that's when you want the gunman set up. So then that way you just stop all of that from happening. There we go. Remember, if you have Can coming up behind you, you don't really need to call the bluffs. Like, more often than not, you can actually go for the grabs. Like, the only times I wouldn't is, like, if they have, like, a ridiculously strong, good up smash out of shield and they're going to kill you. You should be able to make that back. Good cleanup there. That's really good. Yeah, because like all you have to do is just like hit jump and then you can just go behind that and get there safely. There's not anything you can do about that. Yeah, actually I was going to say because let's just like remember how this hurt box works. So because the can hurt box actually goes like out here, every single time he throws a projectile, it's not going to hit you. The only one that should hit you is if he goes for bomb. Bomb's explosion's bigger. When he jumped away. Yeah, I missed which part that you threw that up in. But yeah, this right here, this is good. I like that you did the little ping there because then that allowed the gunman to just like fully shoot it there and then like send it right next to him. Oh, good roll coverage. Literally, he doomed himself there because he decided to go for another fire arrow. So the clay pitches are really good call outs for that. Yeah, this is really tight. Again, just have more confidence in these, landing, and like you'll just kill him a lot easier. Oh my god. Oh, that's a bit upsetting. You psyched yourself out with that last one. But honestly, like when it comes like in that game, like if you're a little bit more confident, like if you didn't change anything except if you were more confident in your punish game off of clay pigeons, like them landing, you definitely would have taken that last game. Because like even there, like right before he killed you, you actually would have killed him. So okay, he's actually changing up his strategy now because he wasn't going like as crazy with the bombs before. He kind of gave up on that really fast. So you actually had a really good position over there. Like this is really strong. Because you're over, like you were just like underneath here, and he has to like land on here. You should focus on resetting your can so you can get your can back into just covering the platforms here. But like there's not really too much Youngling can do to force anything out of you, and he's just in a way less safe position than you are. Ah, not the wrong idea, but you went for like a no tech coverage there. Ah, he just called you out there. Ooh, that was strong. Yeah, so in this case, so if you didn't have your can over here, I would have said that that probably was the best option to go for. But I think you could. Nah, that's kind of a bad spot because like can pretty much only cover this position over here. You can still get center and cover the rest of these, but like ideally off of like those low percent ones is when you do like clay pigeon, fair, grab, forward throw, and then you reset your can. So then that way you get them off stage because you more than likely will get more damage off of going for the ledge traps, unless like your juggling game is like a million times better than your ledge trap game. Ah, gotcha. Yeah, generally speaking, it's better to stay underneath the platform, so just so you can avoid those and just like whiff punish a lot easier. So just always remember that. Just kind of stay over here, and then if you know if once you see them throw out the move, then just put yourself in the appropriate space to punish them. Good call out right there. Not the way that I would have done it, but like regardless, that still worked out perfectly good. See, this is what happens when you go too hard. So I hope you don't die for it. Okay, yeah, he wasn't on you enough. Yeah, because like now that he's at like at 195, like it's gonna be a little bit hard to get the kill, but you should be able to kill him with up throw at this point. Now you have to remember the can was not in play, or it was playing against you at that point. Like what he's doing right here is completely fake. Like you can very much just jump over this. Yeah, you messed up your initial dash. Otherwise, you would have been able to connect that. Oh, he caught your DI. Yeah. Not really too much you could have done there. The most you could have done is just delay your up B. Yeah, so you have to remember, like, off of down tilt, Young Link gets a lot of true combos off of that. So more, if you don't have can access to, you kind of want to air dodge in a direction and get out of it. Yeah, again, you need to keep track of your clay pigeons too, because you ran into that because you tried a side B, but your clay pigeon was already out. Yeah, again, you set up the safety of the gunman, so there's no reason to like roll into danger there. Man, that sent you far. Good control there. Yeah, so at that moment, like right there, let's talk about this whole little ordeal. Because like I understand a lot of people getting a little confused here. So at this moment, all you do is just hold shield over your can. Because then that way, like you can just ping it, and then like at worst it blows up on his shield. And then if he does an attack or like a panic spot dodge, then you can the can will still punish that. Yeah. And that's more of just like watch your opponent. Yeah, you went for the entire thing right there. But you have to remember this, like when you're on top of your can, even if he panic rolled, the can would have still been knocked into him and that would have saved him. So regardless, like that wasn't more than likely wasn't going to kill him unless you got like a really lucky hit that separated him from the can. So if you wanted to cover roll, like dash and go for up smash and then have can cover the rest of it. That would have been a lot better. But, you know, I understand the circumstances of that. Like, you're not really going to think clearly unless, like, you already just have done this a million times. Because, like, when you're at, like, the deficit where the can trade's going to be against your favor, don't put yourself in an area that's going to put you at risk of the can explosion. Play it as safe as possible. Yeah, again, don't. In that case, like, when you go for an air, you need to land on stage, but be very careful about landing on stage like that, just because it makes it really easy to beat out. Oh, man, he messed up. That was really good, because, like, I think he did the directional air dodge, right? Let's make sure. Just watch that right. Yeah, because he did directional air dodge up. So that's good you recognize that. You did clay pigeon instead. So directional air dodge is way more laggy than neutral. Yeah, like when you have like Boomerang coming back against you when you throw out that gunman, you should automatically know at that point that gunman's going to go down because it's going to take an arrow and a Boomerang. So in that case, it wasn't really the best time to throw it out. Like, yeah, like if you're ever in a situation right here and you got the Boomerang there, don't throw out the gunman. Just wait for the Boomerang to pass and then do it. Good idea. You're just a little bit off in the execution. But yeah, like when you did that like dash up down tilt, the frame distance between doing like a dash attack or a dash grab versus that down tilt was enough for him to get that spot dodge out. Yeah, unfortunately, he has too much mobility that he's able to get that out, so wouldn't really go for like those charging F smashes against young Link. Okay, he didn't have enough range. If he had enough range, I think that would have killed. That's kind of wild. I forget, how fast is this down smash? I want to say it's like a frame 8 move. Frame 9. Okay, so I was pretty close. Yeah, be very careful about just like panicking with your can. There we go. Yeah, it's like right now, like the main thing that's getting you is just like bad gunman and can placements, and it just kind of makes it easy for him to like kind of slip in the neutral and neutralize you as well. So you have to really think about more, because like now that we're on a way more condensed stage, we're kind of seeing that play out effect. I think it was before you joined, I mentioned that I think the bigger stages are better for Duck Hunt because it gives him more room and space to and time to set up his projectile placements, and that works way more in favor for Duck Hunt than it does for Young Link. Where it's here, he's kind of right next to you, so he's able to immediately convert off a lot of these things. So you have to be way more thoughtful about how you're putting these out, just because he's able to get in punished a lot easier. Yeah, like right there when you decided to press do gunman there, like even if you got a gunman out, the bomb would have still hit you. So like it wouldn't have worked out properly. Yeah, it's like there. Like if you decided to like just like kind of hold shield, you'd be able to like knock him out from doing the grab, and if he did an attack on your shield, it would have done the shield can effect. So you had a decent setup to get out of there, but you didn't really follow through with it. And not to mention, like you were solely focused on getting up and throwing a projectile, but you weren't focused on being safe. So it's like, let's look at this whole sequence again. See, like, right there, instead of just, like, kind of going on stage and then, like, doing, like, another jump again, like, you decided to, like, do a wave bounce gunman off and then get this can out, which, if anything, like, you were able to get the can out to give yourself, like, a setup here. And then, like, you actually had the safety of everything just, like, set up there. It's just you didn't believe in it. And then that's what did you in there. But, like, right before that's what I want to talk about. It's kind of the bigger issue. Okay. So, like, there, like, he's doing nothing but just chucking things at you. And at this point, like, he had a bomb coming. If he was doing, like, arrow or boomerang, the gunman makes sense. But because the bomb was already there, all you had to do was just kind of, like, jump, like, full hop, and then just wait to see what one he would do after. If you full hopped and you were over here and he was still doing fire arrows, you can fast fall land with a fair, and you're either hitting him or you're going to be safe on shield. Those are, like, your two options there. And then from there, once you have like that established, then you pretty much are just like on even neutral grounds there. So then you can like set up and like you can do like dash away gunman. So then that way you can place a gunman here and it'll be safe against all of his projectiles. And he doesn't really have the speed to like catch you with an aerial or a nair because you'd be too far away at that point. So ultimately, like that's kind of what it would be to like just reset yourself to just be safe when you came back. So let's just jump ahead. Yeah, because like you're doing rising fair a lot, but it's really important at those low percents to learn how to get that falling fair. Because like if you jump and then you do fair as you're fast falling, then you're gonna be able to get that grab or that second fair off of it. So I would say practice that, because I know it's possible off of those clay pigeons. Oh, that was confusing. I have a feeling you probably meant to do like a clay pigeon there or something, but no, that was unfortunate. that was kind of an unfortunate end there. I feel like there's like a lot more that could have happened, but it just kind of didn't. But yeah, overall, I'm happy with a lot of the things that I'm seeing from you. You're very aware of the role setups. Your general can placement is looking pretty good, but there's a lot of polish that needs to happen. It's still very rough, but like you're getting the ideas down. The edge guarding aspect was pretty good. Your recovery from ledge is what's pretty bad though. Like as I was kind of pointing out with that last example where you weren't paying attention to the projectiles, you really need to think about what are the options available to you to get back safely, and like why sometimes it's better not to press a button and just like just move around to like get around them. So like in this case, because he was so focused on littering the ground level with projectiles, like do your jump and then figure out what move he's doing afterwards. And then that's where you either use your double jump or you just kind of position to land safely on ground and then go from there. The other thing too is like you're not too good of keeping track of where can is in play, and you kind of like automatically go can to gunman to can to gunman, and it's like an immediate cycle between the two, and you aren't really thinking about where your opponent's doing. Like you kind of know how to use them against your opponent, but you're not thinking of like, is this a good time to use it? I would say like 75% of the time you're using them at good times, but like that 25% still costs you some games, and like some stocks as well during the games that you won as well. So keep that more in mind. The other thing too is just like, at least in the Young Link matchup in particular, with like those whiffed up smashes and up Bs, just know that Clay Pigeon's like the best automatic option to go to get the most damage and to potentially secure those stocks as well. So once you see those things come out, it's fairly easy to react to them because you don't even need to be near them for that to work. So it's kind of a good thing to keep in mind, because like you could throw it out before the move is over. Remember, it will, if the multi-hit move does not do enough damage, like they don't do 5%, it's not going to break the Clay Pigeon. So that's why you can just kind of toss it out where they are whenever you see the move come out. You don't really need to think twice about it. It's going to work. And then let's see. You don't really have any complaints about the edge guarding. Recovery. So not only on the ledge, but like when you're recovering as well, you're going for a lot of really bad can trades because like you just weren't watching where your opponent was and what they were doing to you. You kind of focus, okay, I need to do this, then look at my opponent. But as you were looking at yourself, the opponent did something that killed you. So make sure you're watching your opponent more than you're watching yourself when you're recovering. And like your hand should know where your character is at and what your character should be doing. So if you're able to watch your opponent more, it's going to go a long way with improving your recovery. Because like on stage, you're watching your opponent decently well. Off stage for like a couple of seconds you aren't, and that's costing you some stock. So make sure you get used to doing that. It will go leaps and bounds for you. Got any questions for me in the meantime? So we'll put this back on too. Yes, it does. So, I mean, obviously make sure you get the timings down. But, like, the reason why F-Tilt's, like, one of the best moves to use at ledge is specifically for how long it lasts. And that will also apply for techs as well. Because, like, the nice thing about F-Tilt is that this move stays out for 5 frames. And it never loses its power. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, wait, 4 frames. Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So basically this entire time is just one decently strong active hitbox, and it can cover text like that. The main thing that you have to be careful of is if the opponent's like in this middle part, it might miss, but as long as you're aiming it correctly, then you'll be fine. So not a bad move to use. The main difference between F-Tilt and down tilt is that down tilt's only active for 2 frames, so it's harder to do. But this is 31 frames and this is 27. So down tilt's technically safer and it comes out faster. So 2 frames faster. This is 2 frames slower, but is 2 frames longer. So if you're not used to covering with down tilt, it's going to be a little bit hard to make the adjustment because like that means you need to be a little bit later. No, you can tilt F tilt forward and it'll still cover it. You don't need to angle it down. Definitely don't need to do that. Like, this will cover it just fine. It's just you do down angle to specifically kill earlier at the ledge. But if you're not at the ledge, not really a reason to do that. Also, because of the way that the move works, it's just like F tilt's a lot less safe than down tilt. Because like the main thing is, so after the move is finished, look how long the duck stays there, and then it moves back. Whereas down tilt, 1, 2, the duck's there, and then it goes into the Z axis, so you can't hit the duck. So that's the reason why this move is infinitely more safe than F tilt is. Okay, gotcha. All right.